Hi David. I was just going to take a few minutes here and show you your multimoog before I box it up. As you can see, it's nice and clean and everything looks great. I got everything calibrated. I finally got your thermal issue fixed, which anybody that's watching this video, he had a thermal issue with this one. Actually, his current source was off. In thermal, you have to actually calibrate the current source based off temperature. And so he had a problem with his calibration on that. So I ended up replacing his 3046 IC that's related to his current source, and then calibrated it based off that new IC, and got that all situated and fixed. But anyways, just to kind of give you an overview here, everything's functional, as you can hear. It sounds great. I did the base mod on this one as well. I actually added a cap to the output cap in parallel, and originally you had like this high pass filter effect going on, and with that cap it actually defeats that high pass filtering, so you get a lot lower end, a good sharp low end sound, and sounds really good. And of course, if you listen to this, you'll probably hear it. It's got this nice that's just one oscillator. We put on two oscillators. That's two oscillators. And then we'll add the sub oscillator to that as well, so we get a really low end. You can hear it really sounds great. The bass mod helped out the sound a lot, and actually with that high pass filtering gone, your wave shaping is actually a bit different. Your square wave is actually a true square wave now, where it always had kind of a sawtooth effect going on. But you can actually hear your waveforms even sound. I got it tuned so in all octave ranges it's in calibration. And so anyways, just for anybody else out there that's watching this video and don't know much about the multimoog. The multimoog is actually the same thing as a micromoog, except with expansion boards. In fact, if you open this thing up and look, you've actually got a micromoog circuit board inside this. And it's like from this point here, because if you notice, all this looks very similar to a micro. And then all this is something that's added on, an expansion. And basically with that, it's basically just a really cool micromoog. You got an extra oscillator, so actually it gives you a total of 3 oscillators, because you have your first oscillator, your second oscillator, and then you got your doubling oscillator, which is your sub oscillator. And you know, if we turn off oscillator 1, just listen to oscillator 2, which is the micromoog board. Then you put a little sub oscillator on that. There's a micromoog. When you do this, now you're combining that extra oscillator. Because with that you get all the same effects as the micro. Some very powerful sounds for sure. But also something else that the micromoog don't offer that the multi has, which is part of the expansion, is you've actually got a pressure bar under your keys. So you can actually make it respond to the filter, which will set the filter up here a little different. So you get things like this. You can see I'm hitting a note harder or softer, and you actually get different results. You can create like a modulation effect. But something else that's really cool is that they give you oscillator sync, which I'm going to detune oscillator 1 for this. But this is something I really love. all based off the pressure of the keys. So if I start off soft, hit harder, or I can start out hard and then come up soft here. So you get different results. You can also do that with tuning. So I'm out of tune on the oscillator, so let me retune that up right quick. Alright, now let's do it. If you listen, I'm just going to turn on oscillator 1. That's what you're hearing overlaid with the oscillator 2. But something else that's really cool too, and I really love about the multi, is that you can actually set your pitch ribbon to either work with both oscillators, like this, like for instance, or and then also you get into double triggering. You got single or multi-triggering. So basically, for anybody that don't know what triggering is, it's basically how the envelope generator, if it resets or if it or I'm sorry, not triggering, but multi or single triggering. Single would be if you hit a note and then don't let off and try to hit another note, your envelope generators are not going to reset. So you have something like this. You'll hear I'm going to get just a quick little punch. Let me set this up. So now if I hit this note, you can see it never resets. If I select multi, you can see how that works. Of course I got glide on, so back to single. So you can see how that works. So that's functioning as well. Also, I calibrated your oscillator 1, so you can go to the 5th. We'll change some wave shapes here. No filter. So as you can hear, this thing works really good, and it's stable, it's good and calibrated, and I think you're going to be very happy with it, David. I don't think it's going to give you any trouble at all. But like I said, if it does, feel free to contact me, and we'll walk through whatever may be the issue. Because we are dealing with a vintage instrument. You just never know with vintage stuff what's going to happen. But I took care of all the primary problems. I rebuilt the power supply completely, all new NPN and PNP transistors on your power supply. I put on new filtering caps, all new tantalum caps. Pretty much went through everything that breaks down over periods of time and replaced them. And so this thing is basically like a new synth. And so it should hold up very well for you. And the only reason I really say that if you have any trouble is because there's still some vintage stuff in this thing. I mean, it's and it's not any new synth. It's about 35 years old or older. So you just never know with these things. But you know, I'll be happy if you have any trouble to walk you back through it, or whatever needs to be done. But I don't think you're gonna have any trouble with it. But anyways, just thought I'd give you a quick update here before I box it up, and just so you could hear it and kind of see what you're getting back to your house. And for anybody else that's watching this, now you know what a multimoog is, and they're very cool. If you find one, they're very cool instruments. And the only difference thing that I don't really like about it is that you only have 1 octave range. Where if you look at something like the mini moog, where you have an octave for each oscillator, this one here only has 1 octave range, and it controls all oscillators. So you can't really get that independent, you know, octave shifts of oscillators. But that's okay. It's got enough to kind of make up for some of that with some of the pitch bend, or pressure bar, and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of capabilities. But anyways, I just thought I'd give you a quick update here, and take care.